I made my partner an omelette because I'm a domesticated goddess. I set it on the table and I told him it's ready, you can come and eat. Now he said that he needs another 10-15 minutes because he's stretching legs after playing football. Like this video if you get annoyed when you prepare something and people don't eat it and then it gets cold. I want to show the dynamic that happened in this situation, explaining the difference between the anxious and avoidant. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's from the book Attached. I mentioned it in my video on 5 books I recommend to read on love and relationships. I'm more on an anxious side with avoidance and security, and my partner is more on the avoidance side. So in this omelette situation, when this was happening, it's just an omelette, but I could see how I was getting annoyed and I was getting triggered. And my initial response was how I would maybe behave in the past. But because I've been going to therapy for the last 2 years, I've been learning a lot about these things and I'm really working on myself and relearning those patterns that I might be having. So my initial response as I was watching myself was to maybe slam doors, maybe to lay the table and things on the table in an exaggerated manner so I could show that I'm protesting, maybe go and not talk to him for a while or do some of the things to show that he doesn't appreciate me. My partner, who is more on the avoidance side, that's going to create a massive distance between us because he will be sitting there withdrawing from the whole situation. He's probably gonna have a chatter in his head thinking, I knew relationships never work, maybe she's better off with someone else, and blah 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 blah. So you may think, well, this is just an omelette, and isn't that a bit of an exaggeration, and that just seems a bit over the top. Once you are in a relationship, those things will come up. But if you are able to communicate with that person, and if you are able to put your point across in a more healthy way, and if you are in a situation where you are open to hearing that person's point of view, then you can build something. So going back to omelette situation, what would be the secure way of addressing that? So instead of going into all this, oh, he doesn't love me, he doesn't care about me, slamming doors, breaking glasses, and hanging myself with a dress. I was seeing this guy, and I was the other woman, and he said the reason he can't leave his missus is because she said if he does, she will hang herself with a dress. I know this is not funny, but you know when something just pops up like a memory? So a more secure way of expressing yourself would be, I made this omelette and I would really appreciate if you could eat it right now because it will get cold and it just makes me feel upset when it does get cold. What you are doing in that situation, you are focusing on this situation that is happening right now. You're not bringing up things that happened 1 month ago, 1 year ago, or whoever knows when, and then you go into this, like dumping all that stuff on this person saying, yeah, you never appreciate me, you never care about me, that's why this relationship is not going to ever work, I'm leaving you, slam doors, blah 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 blah, and then waiting for him to chase you, and then that's just going to be a disaster. When you are more of a secure person, you don't have issues with intimacy, you don't have issues of speaking up what you feel, you don't have issues of telling what is it that you would like this person to do. And then if this person says, I can't do this, I can't eat this omelette at the moment because I'm stretching my legs, and that is okay. They will eat that cold omelette, and it's not an issue. It is really not an issue. I think the most important thing, whether you are secure, avoidant, anxious, is to be with someone in a relationship who's open to working on those omelette situations, who is willing to see your point of view, who is not just disregarding you and calling your names every time you're expressing yourself and invalidating you. I think this is very important, that you're feeling heard and you're feeling understood. I'd like to hear from you. Do you know if you are anxious, avoidant, or secure? Tell me in the comments. And do you have your own personal omelette stories? If you do, please share them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please click like if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. I'm trying to get into my 700 subscribers at the moment. The next video for you to watch is here. Best book recommendations on relationships and love. I shall see you there, and always remember that you're worth your love. See ya!